Been gone for a minute. Now I'm back with the jump off. What up, y'all? Welcome back to the Black Buckeye Podcast. I am your host, Chris. Um, our moderator is out today. It's fine. We can get it rolling without her. So today we are going to talk about Chip Kelly being the new offensive coordinator at Ohio State. And what should the Bengals do with T. Higgins? That's coming up next on the Black Buckeye Podcast. We're going to jump into it, man. We got Chip Kelly becoming the new Ohio State offensive coordinator, and we're gonna go over some more things. But first thing I'm going to address, since I've been gone for a while, is Chip Kelly, man, becoming the new offensive coordinator of Ohio State. Um, Bill O'Brien decided he wanted to dip out because he was offered a head coaching job at Boston College, and he had some family things that he had to attend to, which is better for him to be in Boston than it is to be in Ohio. Um, and we completely understand. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope everything and pray that everything goes well with him and his family, which I think will be which I think would be ideal. And we pray that everything will be ideal for him and his family. But we here to talk about the Buckeyes, man. So he's out. Chip Kelly in. It was like in 24 hours. I think, honestly, personally, I just think they probably went to my man's, was like, "Hey, Bill, can you just hold out for like a week so I can rearrange this thing so I can put this thing in order with Mr. Chip and Chip." So one out, one in, man. And I'm sure you guys want to know what my thoughts are on the hire. Um, just quick review. When I first heard of it, I was like, "This is good." I'm not mad. I'm not upset. So the first thing you want to really go off of, or you really want to think about, is how did his other offenses perform? This is the first thing I think about when I think about hiring a offensive coordinator that is supposed to be running Ryan Day's offense. You have to understand Ryan Day is one of the best play callers, if not the best play caller in college football. I would probably say only one other person is probably as good as he is, or probably better than he is. Um, but Chip Kelly. So last year, he was the head coach for UCLA. Um, his offense, I went and looked at his offense from this past season. Mind you, he had a true freshman playing for most of the season. So his total offense was 70th in the country. Their passing offense was 60th in the country. Their rushing offense was 17th in the country. So honestly, I feel like it's not fair for me rather, or anybody to judge his offense off of what happened last year. He had a very true freshman, and I would like to go back a little bit further and say, hey, what did he do with at least an experienced quarterback? What did he do? Did he do anything different? Did he change something up? Like what happened in a year? But it's a big difference between having an experienced quarterback and a non-experienced quarterback. So, I mean, the quarterback is the leader of your offense. So if you go back to 2022, he had the eighth overall offense in the country. He had the 34th best passing offense in the country and the sixth best rush offense in the country. So even with his inexperienced quarterback, they were still 17th in the country in rushing. So if he brings, and I think that's the biggest thing that he's probably going to bring to the table is his rushing packages and how he rushes the ball. Because even last year they were 17th, the year before they were sixth in the country. Most people can't even name you, who was UCLA's running backs for the past 2 years. Ask them. I mean, yeah, y'all know. Most of y'all don't. And that's including me. I don't really study UCLA like that. I mean, I don't know of anybody who's dogging out here like that. They might have some very good running backs, but it looks like here they got the job done. I don't think that they're the caliber. Let me say this. I don't think the caliber of running backs that he is going to be coaching here is the same caliber that he was coaching at UCLA. That's obvious. You have Travion Henderson coming in here, transfer from Ole Miss. So you have two of the country's top running backs. Some people say that this is the best backfield in the country. I tend to agree that this is the best backfield in the country. So I think that the worst that we should expect from this offense with Chip Kelly running it is probably sixth in the country, sixth or eighth. But I think a big part of that definitely depends on the offensive line and how they're developed and how they're coached up. That last game where we saw against Missouri, I mean, that was just flat out embarrassing, unacceptable. We don't, I just, I'm not even going into detail and talking about it, but we all seen it. We all saw it on TV. We all understand what the problem are is it was offensive line and you had a young quarterback back there playing and he just wasn't ready, especially with an offensive line playing behind that offensive line who just really wasn't giving him any kind of time or any kind of protection. So yeah, I think I like this hire. I'm good with it. I think the passing offense I think is pretty much is going to be handled by Ryan Day and developed through Ryan Day, but I think it gives him a chance again still to be more hands off. He doesn't have to he gets to be more have his hands in everything instead of just in the offense because he's the offensive coordinator and he's the quarterback coach and he's the head coach and he got to responsible for whatever this, you know what I mean, because he's responsible for the entire team, so it gives him the ability to be, you know with the entire team, to have his hands in the defense like I said before in the last episode. So I like this hire. Chip Kelly is a very good offensive mind. I don't see him being at Ohio State for a very long time. I think he doesn't want to be a big part of him coming to Ohio State and leaving being the head coach at UCLA and now being the offensive coordinator at the Ohio State University is that he just didn't want to be a head coach no more. I don't think he wanted to be a head coach. I don't think he wants to be a head coach at this level. I think he wants to be a head coach either at the um, NFL level or an offensive coordinator. And if he can't be an offensive coordinator somewhere on the NFL level, I think this is the next best thing. So if he gets say he goes and Ohio State's offense goes crazy, wins the national championship, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody say, "Well, let's go ahead and bring Chip Kelly in, with for as our new head coach or our new offensive coordinator." I mean, I don't see him staying here. Um, I don't know if a lot of the podcasts that I watch, they haven't gotten that far. Like, I don't see him staying here. I see this as a 1 to 2 year type of thing, and then he's out of here. He's gone. It wouldn't shock me if he's out of here after 1 year. I wouldn't be mad about it. It's just that's just going to be that's the name of the game. You, the offensive coordinator at Ohio State, and if they do what we all think that they can do and have the talent to do, which is, excuse me, be one of the top five offenses in the country, one of the best running and passing offenses in the country. He's not going to be here next year after this year is over with. He's not going to be here. He's going to be somebody's head coach at a NFL level because they want to take a chance on him again, or he's going to be an offensive coordinator um at the NFL level. I don't think anywhere else he would go as far as schools in college football is basically a lateral move because you're at Ohio State already. A lateral move is going to Alabama. A lateral move is going to a Texas or something like that. That's just staying at the same level at the same playing field. So um, I think this is a great hire, man. I think it was great. It's cohesive. Chip Kelly and Ryan Day go way, way back, all the way back to when Ryan Day was his quarterback. So I think it's great, man. I think it's great for the cohesive unit as far as the coaching staff. He's seamless. Offensive line coach has already worked with Chip Kelly. So everything is, they already know what he wants to do. It's not too different. The offense is not going to be too different from what Ryan is running, but the run game is probably going to be a little bit different. And that's what's going to change. But I like the hire, man. I can't be mad at it. I love it. But We're gonna move on and jump into the next topic because I have had a lot of people hit me up and asking me about the Cincinnati Bengals and our free agency. And who we have in free agency is T. Higgins. And they're asking me, should the Bengals sign T. Higgins to a big deal? Me, as the Bengal fan, lifelong, from the day I was born, pretty much, I've always liked the Cincinnati Bengals. And as a Cincinnati Bengals fan, T. Higgins deserves his money, and we should give him just about whatever he is asking for. However, if he is demanding a little bit too much money, because I don't think T. Higgins is a top 5 or top 10 receiver or top 15. I think he's a top 20 receiver in the NFL, possibly. But a couple things giving me cause for pause from him getting the big mega contract. His injury history is a big, big thing with me and not wanting to give him the biggest deal possible. That and we can't pay everybody. So I already understand that possibly the Bengals are probably more than likely is going to lose Tyler Boyd, and I understand that. That's just the name of the game. Um, what are we going to do? What are you going to do? So if we're going to sign anybody, I understand is signing the younger receiver, which is T. Higgins. And his last year's numbers, he had 656 yards. He only played 12 games, and he had 5 touchdowns. 76. He had 42 receptions, 76 targets. The two previous year, well, his 3 previous years, his rookie year, he had 908 yards receiving. Excuse me, 1,000 yards, then 1,000 yards, 100 targets, 100 targets, 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards. He's averaging about 14 yards per catch throughout his career. He's averaging about 6 touchdowns a year. So his rookie year he had 6, second year he had 6, third year he had 7. This past year he had 5. I think that was more of an effort of getting him the ball because he's a target, man. He's a big target. So um, if I'm the GM and I'm playing GM of the Cincinnati Bengals, which I like to do a lot, by the way, which I think we're going to do a little bit of that here on the show. Um, what I would do, I would see what I could sign him for. If I can't sign him to a big deal, which we've already haven't been able to sign him to a big deal, I'm a franchise tag him. And I'm gonna see what people are willing to offer. Are you gonna give me a first round pick, which is in the top 10, top 15? Because he was a second round pick. Are we gonna be able to do a sign and trade? If I'm the GM and I can't sign him to a long term deal, honestly, the best thing for us to do is either play him if he's cool with that, if he's willing to play on the franchise tag. If not, sign and trade, my man. Sign and trade. That that's the best way to handle it. It's unfortunate, but that's just the name of the game. The thing of it is that his injury history does um come into play when he goes to get his contract. And this year, which is a contract year for him, he only played 12 games. Now he's missed 2 other games in his career, which was his second year. But I watch all the Bengals games. I watch T. Higgins. He comes up gimpy a lot. Now, I'm not hating, but I'm just telling the truth. He comes up gimpy a lot. But that's football. But he's just one of those guys that he's gonna have knickknacks, and it might hold him. It might hold him back here and there. And if we are being honest as Bengals fans, he disappears in a lot of games. And sometimes it's through no fault of his own because they're not making a conservative effort to get him the ball. Um, the biggest thing for us is try to sign him to a long-term deal. Franchise him, see if we can sign him to a long-term deal. We couldn't do it this past year, knowing Mike Brown's history. We're probably not going to do it this year. I don't have high hopes for this. Understandable. Scorn Bengal fan here. The best thing for us to do is what I see us doing. They're going to have him play on the franchise tag, and then next year, they either going to lose him for nothing, or you got to try to trade him. Try to get something for him. You identified the talent. You found the talent. He lived up to what you thought he would be, exceeded in some expectations of what you thought he would be. You got to pay him. If we don't pay him, you got to trade him. You got to get something for him. We can't lose him for nothing. It's the same thing what they're saying with the Kansas City Chiefs right now. You cannot lose your star players for nothing. You can't let them walk away. That's how dynasties crumble. That's how teams crumble and take steps back because you're letting players just go and you're getting nothing for them. You cannot have that happen. And us as the Bengals definitely can't have that happen. So if I'm the Bengals, I'm franchising. Period. Point blank. If I'm the GM of the Bengals, I'm franchise tagging him. Period. Point blank. See if he signs it. He signs it. Great. Cool. He's going to sign it. I think he'll make like 18 to 20 million his first year, and that's just what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. And I understand that he probably doesn't want to play on that franchise tag. Nobody really does, but when you really think about it, and I made this point to some of my friends, when you really, really think about it, franchise tag ain't really that bad. Long as you stay healthy, not a bad deal. I'm gonna get paid like I'm one of the top receivers in the league, whether I am or I'm not, right? For that one season. Kirk Cousins did it multiple times. My man is rolling in the dough. Play the game, man. Play the game. That's all you can do. I hope they re-sign him, man. I really truly hope they re-sign him. I mean, it's a lot of things that we have to do this offseason, mainly drafting some defenses and the offensive line. But yeah, that's what we got to do. Got to sign him to a franchise tag and see what happens. But um, thank y'all for watching. Continue to like, share, and subscribe. Next week, Kendra will be back as the moderator. Continue to like, share, subscribe, guys. If you have any questions that you want to ask me, please comment down below. Let us know how you're feeling about the show. Anything you want to ask me, anything you want to talk about, because I will involve you guys in this process, in the show. You are part of the show as well. We are building a community here. So comment down below any question that you have about the Cincinnati Bengals, Ohio State Buckeyes, even the Cleveland Browns. I'll answer them. I have no problem with that. This is an Ohio podcast. Until next week, OH, Buckeye till we die, baby.